Hello and welcome to our 7 simple steps to intuitive card reading. So the first thing I would say is to choose your cards instinctively. So there are so many different types of oracle cards, tarot cards, all of which can be read intuitively. And so I would just pick something that really calls to you, whether it's the imagery, the author who writes them. It may be something on the deck that feels very personal to you. You might be drawn to it, the colours, shapes, sizes. There's so many different ones. And I've just laid out a few here as examples for you. I'm going to choose to use my Denise Linn cards today. So I'm going to clear away these other cards, and then we'll start going through those simple steps to our card reading. So once you take your oracle deck or tarot, you will find that within it, it will have a sort of guidebook of some description. I tend not to use the guidebook, but a lot of people do tend to have a look at that just for guidance and confidence in the beginning. So I'm going to pop that to one side just for now. Now, the first thing I would say is that it's really important to set an intention with our reading. So just take a few moments for yourself, take a nice deep breath in, relax, and really set yourself up to be doing a reading. What do we want to know? What guidance do we need? What sort of things are we looking at to gain from our cards today? So once you've got yourself prepared and in the right frame of mind, we're going to start shuffling our cards. Now, there's no right or wrong way to shuffle. Some people will look like they work in a casino, and they'll do these crazy shuffles. But again, it is just your way. Okay, so my shuffling is overhand. It's quite simple. Other people might like to cut the deck. They will just separate that into sections, and then they'll put their cards in a different order. So again, whatever feels right for you. I'm very much somebody who thinks that everyone has their own way to do something, and therefore that becomes your way, the right way. Okay, so in this particular demonstration, we're just going to use 3 cards. Now, some people will take from the top of the deck, some from the bottom, others will just pick random cards. Again, whatever feels right for you. I often shuffle and allow cards to sort of, I see them, I can sense that they're the cards I want to use. In this example, we are just going to use from the top of the deck. Okay. Now, as I say, we're going to use a 3-card demonstration. Okay, so I'm just setting my intention. I want to know what guidance I need. And I'm going to allow my cards, just as I'm shuffling them, thinking about that intention. And then when it feels right, I know that I'll stop. Okay, so I'm going to deal my cards from left to right. Again, there is no right or wrong way to do this. So my 3 cards. Now, for my 3 cards, it can be really helpful to assign those cards with a position. So in this particular situation, I want to know what guidance I need, and I'm going to assign a past, present, and future to my cards. Okay, so now I know that the position of each card holds a relevance. I've got my past card first, then I move into what's happening right now, and then I'm going to have a look into where things are going to lead me in the future. So we're going to start by turning our first card over. Now this card, I'm just going to take a moment to look at that card and see what imagery stands out to me. What is it that I'm noticing first? Is it the colour? Is it the symbols? Is it the words? And that's going to tell me quite quickly which bits are most important in that message. So the thing actually that stood out a lot to me there was this idea of this treasure, but it's being protected by something. Now I'm going to look to the words, uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. So again, we're going to study this card. How does it make you feel? Is there some relevance? Can you make it fit with the situation? Is it making you have an emotional reaction when you're looking at that? What does it make you feel about the past? Have you been overprotective of money? Have you felt that money has been held back from you? Are there more treasures to be found? I'm thinking that this is my internal world. And I'm thinking that what lies beneath my surface is a treasure that I've kept very much hidden. There's an aspect of myself that I have been holding back. And I have felt a need to protect that, to hide that. So this to me, I'm getting all this imagery, and I'm thinking actually it's making me think of story tales of the dragon who protects the castle, or the maiden in the tower. There's something I've done to protect myself, but it's something actually that is beneficial to me, it's beneficial to others. It is a treasure. I'm also really drawn to the yellow here. Now for me, yellow, I link that with my solar plexus. I'm thinking about my chakras, my energy points through my body. So again, it's just linking all these different things, these different aspects. Maybe you're more drawn to the coloured gems. Maybe you're more drawn to the fact that there is maybe something prickly. You know, we've got these spines, we have these scales. So again, it's just noticing the things that matter to you. Now we're going to do the same with each card. So this is something in the past. The next card is my present. So this time I'm really drawn to this release. Something being released from the hand is the first thing I've noticed, and a lot of pink. Now I'm looking now to my words, grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. Okay, so I'm looking that in the past, possibly I've held something back, and now something is releasing, it's expanding. This pink I'm really drawn to. Again, I'm linking it to my chakras. That's something I do a lot of. And this is linked to my heart and self-love, self-care. So I'm thinking that possibly in my present now, I'm needing to focus more on my own self, on the things that I need to do, on things I need to release. Okay, now I'm looking at this house now. I'm feeling protection. I'm feeling home. I'm feeling something cozy, something comfortable. And so I'm feeling joy and gratitude for the things I already have. And that really links in with the wording here. But I am, again, something to release. I'm being led on a path somewhere as well. Something is taking me somewhere. So I feel like there's a journey, and it is going to feel comforting. So you can see already from this card, I'm picking up on a homely feeling, releasing something, self-care and self-love. Each card will have multiple messages, multiple meanings, and it's just what is most relevant to you for the situation and that intention that you've set at the beginning. I feel like there's an expansion here. There's something growing because I've got a path leading me somewhere, which is going to lead me somewhere better because I've got all this positive imagery and positive words of joy and expansion. I'm seeing growth with the leaves. And again, she's comfortable. She's in a robe. There's a lot of comfort here. I'm opening up to something. I'm offering something with my hand. Okay, so again, looking at all those images. And then my final card, my future, rainbow blessings. Now I'm immediately drawn to a breakthrough. I'm walking through something. I'm coming to an opening in my life, something, an opportunity. I'm going to walk through. This path is leading me again onto somewhere. Now, when I see water, it makes me think of emotions. They flow. I feel like they're quite calm. It's not stormy. There has been some hardship because I have a rainbow. And so when I see a rainbow, I think that there must have been a storm, there must have been rain, and now the sun is shining. Now I'm reading the words, rainbow blessings. Blessings are showering on showering your life. Okay, so these blessings, there is goodness, more growth. Okay, I'm coming out of the darkness into the light. So there's my three aspects, my past, present, and future. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start trying to piece together what things are. Is there a story here? Can I see progression? Definitely I can see that in the past I was protecting myself somehow. Having to learn now to release those things and feel comfortable with myself. There is this path, something is opening up for me. It's leading me somewhere. I'm coming out of this darkness. I was in a cave, so I'm coming out of this darkness into light. Again, we've got this same theme of leaving the darkness. There's much more light. I'm leaving behind troubles, okay, because blessings are showering on me. This path now is leading me. I'm going to keep following something here. Now, I feel like here's my tower. Talked about a tower with the dragon. I felt locked away. I felt like I've hidden myself. But it was for my own protection, possibly something from the past that had rolled over, but I'm leaving that behind. Okay, there are new horizons. The sky is clear, there are no clouds, and I feel like I'm heading on a positive path into my future. Okay, so you can see that I've built this story and it's been based on lots of different things. It's been based on storytelling, it's been based on metaphors, it's based on my knowledge of my chakras, colours I enjoy, this vibrancy. Okay, now also I feel like something is going to be very ordered, it's very structured here. As you can see, all these pieces fit together, a puzzle is coming together. It's a bit like a reading. You're pulling pieces together and you're deciphering messages through your cards. Now, some people will feel that that is just your intuition or your higher self. Some people will literally say that you're just reading the words. I'm uncovering treasure within myself. There's gratitude now for what I have, and then I will be blessed. Okay, so there can be a very simplistic view of readings, but you can delve very deeply. Now, some of us, myself included, will think that spirit will guide us. I might get messages, I might have reminders. This may remind me, it actually does remind me of my great grandmother. Just the makeup, the hair, her clothing. So again, I feel like maybe that's a guide who's stepping forward. I might be getting other messages completely irrelevant to the cards in front of me. I may be thinking of cherry blossom and therefore I think of cherries, and then it reminds me of something I did in my past with somebody where I ate cherries. Okay, so it's just trusting all those elements and looking for those repeating patterns, those cycles. Okay, now when we get to this point in our reading, we can then sit with it. We can think back to our original question. What do I need to know? What guidance do I need? I need to know that in the past I've definitely held myself back in areas of my life that I am learning now to let go of. I'm learning to show those things. I'm releasing them. Okay. And I'm also learning to love myself a bit more, to show myself this love and respect. And also to start making sure I'm moving on my journey. I'm not remaining trapped somewhere. And then in the future, I now know that I will succeed. There will be blessings. I will see this showering of good things coming to me, this abundance, okay? But it is showing that there was this difficult period, that I have gone through, I've traversed, and now I'm moving forward into this new day. Okay, so now what I would do when I was first starting out, I would write down my reading, my interpretation. You might like to write down each card as you go, and then you will have a better recollection when you come to the pulling it all together, the end of your reading. Okay, so definitely writing down at the beginning helps us to be able to remember our readings. And sometimes if something right now doesn't feel relatable, it doesn't feel relevant to you, if you come back in a week's time, a few days' time, a month's time, and you re-look at that reading, you may find that those experiences are now starting to begin. You might have more, it might feel more relevant to you. Sometimes we're given messages that we're just not ready to receive yet, and we need to take a bit of time. Sometimes we're given messages of things we need to hear, and it may then steer us in a direction. It may give us a reaction or a response. If a card is triggering you, it's because there's a reason behind that. There's something there you need to just have a look at. Okay? Now, what I would say is don't rush. Come back to it, as I said. Now, I would also say trust your instinct. If this card with a dragon made you think of an egg, then that's what you're meant to think of. Okay? It's there for a reason. It will prompt you in the way that it's meant to prompt you, because you are the reader. It's your interpretation. So don't always panic and think, oh gosh, I'm not getting anything about a dragon. Why am I thinking of an egg? It could be symbolic to you. So you will be given cards, you will be given words that will trigger something in you. It might be that you think of a story or a nursery rhyme as a child. Okay, I'm getting the phrase, don't cry over spilt milk. It has no relevance to this reading. I can't see milk. I can't even see a jug. Nothing seems to be spilt, but I'm being given the message. And so to me, it holds a relevance somewhere that I need to take on board. Okay, so it's pulling all those things together and trusting that there's meaning behind it. And the trust and the confidence are the hardest two things really when it comes to readings. Now, what I said at the beginning was that I don't necessarily turn to the guidebook, but if you're struggling with a meaning or you're just not confident enough in it, I would say that then once you've done your first sort of intuitive look, that I would have a look and check out the meaning. So here it has a brief meaning in the description, and then it will have something else you might need to know. And you often find that there'll be a short description just to give you a bit of guidance, and then a much deeper description. So here it says, look beneath the surface in your life and you'll find treasure. Bounty is awaiting for you in many forms. The secret is knowing that you deserve it and you're worthy. Something that you thought was ordinary will turn out to be extraordinary. Take a second to look at the people and situations in your life. Sometimes revealing treasure is a simple matter of seeing life in a new way. The treasure was always there, you just didn't see it. So I can see that there's parts of this card that I picked up on that the author has also intended to be there. Okay, this internal feeling beneath the surface, okay, is this treasure, something that you were keeping hidden. So you can use these guidebooks by all means, but I would say use them as a backup, because your intuition, your interpretation is exactly that. It will be most relevant to you. Okay, so just use that as confirmation if you need it, or if you're really struggling with your confidence. But actually, I think the best reading that you will receive when doing it for yourself or others is one that you intuitively are guided by. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments, or if you would like further information, then obviously get in touch. But just enjoy, trust yourself. Whichever meanings you get and they feel relevant to you, that is the important bit. That's the thing that you need to hold on to. And as I say, even if it has no relevance to the card, that meaning is coming through for a reason. And I would say try not to ignore it. Try and stick with it. Try and allow it to develop in your mind. And as I say, it may take a couple of hours, it may take a couple of weeks, but there will be a relevance there that you pick up on. This is exactly the same if you're reading for somebody else, and you might find that you find it easier to read for other people than yourself because you tend not to have a natural bias. Now, natural bias is impossible to ignore, but it also is part of a reading. If your bias is that when you see a card with a dragon, you think of battle, then that's why that card has shown itself to you, because you're going to think of it as a battle. So don't get too worried about those natural biases. But as I say, reading for someone else, you tend not to have them as much because you're being much more open-minded. You're a step removed from the reading and you're able to have a very good perspective on it. For ourselves, that reading comes a little bit more difficult because we're going to jump to a conclusion. Now, I'm not saying that that conclusion is wrong. Often it's right, but you may actually miss that that card has several different meanings. It may not just be relevant to your job or your relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be towards yourself. It could be sabotaging behaviour. And we might not look at that if we know that right now there's a very relatable situation. We're going to go straight for that. So it is just trying to be a bit more open-minded in our own readings, but also there is something about being read for. Now, I read for myself regularly, but I also will often have readings from other people, other readers that I know and I trust. You will find a reader that resonates with you, and likewise, you will resonate with some people and not others, and that's okay. You are going to be picking up on things that some people aren't ready to hear. You might express your reading in a way that they don't like. You know, we're not the same. Not everyone likes the same flavour. Okay, so just be you. Just trust your intuition. Say it how you feel it's meant to be said. Now, obviously, we have to take into consideration other people's feelings and thoughts, but we do need to try and express that card in the best way possible for them to hear. And that's something that comes with time and it comes with confidence. But I would say just start off being yourself, maybe make some notes as you go along, and just keep that mind open and trust your intuition. Thanks for listening. I really hope that you start your journey of intuitive reading, and do let us know if you have your own way of reading. It's always fascinating to hear other tips and hints from others. So take good care and hopefully we'll speak soon.